He was ashore at Hamilton Beach. And we shall be talking to one of the candidates for the publicity secretary position of the Sierra Leone People's Party. These issues are going to be dealt with in the next hour of the program. This is Good Morning Sierra Leone Status. Welcome back. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching live on the Slbc, and you could be glad indeed that you could join us this morning. It's now time for us to start the discussion proper and to usher in our guest. And as you must have heard in the news, the Ministry of Health has announced the temporary closure of the current hospital mortuary in Freetown. The closure, according to the hospital management, was part of their efforts to upgrade the mortuary to a modern standard. The existing current hospital mortuary was last renovated over 20 years ago. The cool room and freezers were outdated and not fit for modern post-mortem care. The critical upgrade would help to uphold dignity for the dead and of course improve overall mortuary standards. In the studio to talk more on this issue, we've been joined by the hospital care manager, Dr. Ibrahim Mark Kapua. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, and I'm happy being here.
A pleasure as always to have you in the program.
Yes, thank you.
So take us head on, as part of ongoing reforms at the Connaught Hospital, we've now seen all attention has been given to the Connaught mortuary. So take us through what's the significance of this particular upgrade, aside of what our viewers already know.
So this upgrade is very much significant. It is part of a package. I always tell people we actually determined to change Connaught to the one that we used to know a few years back. So we want to make sure we upgrade our services, we upgrade a service delivery. So in as much as we've done a lot on the wards where we have the patients who are living, but it is also very much important to pay much attention to the dead, to the deceased. They are loved ones, and so we want to make sure we give them respectful and dignified care at the last moments of their lives. So that is why the Ministry of Health and of course the management of Connaught Hospital have put forces together, resources together to make sure that we bring that mortuary up to standard. We all know how it has been over the years, a lot of challenges. So before there were issues with electricity, but we got a solar system, everything was running, and then there was still challenges. So we sat down as the ministry, as an institution, to ask ourselves some questions. What are really the things that are causing this? So we came to a conclusion and knew exactly that one of the things we have to do is to bring that building up to speed. The mortuary building of it as a whole is going to be renovated to standard. We have had the opportunity to get new cold rooms. So we are going to change the old one that has been a neck ache. And we change it. We have new mortuary equipment that are going to be there, and so we are going to do a complete overhaul of the building. That is change all what we have there, upgrade, add more services that were in there, and then we make sure also we complement that with the staff. So we are going to train the staff. We're going to take them through some workshops, series of trainings, and of course provide uniforms for them, and make them more professional. So when you meet people, you have a deceased relative, you go to the mortuary, you will not go through the distress that was there. So it's actually, like I say, a calculated attempt to make sure that we change the narrative, as they say, because for far too long we've been hearing the Connaught mortuary especially on the news for the wrong reason. This time we are determined, we are ready. We Connaught being the central referral and teaching hospital in the country, we know we have to step up better. And this is what we have decided to do, and the Ministry of Health is fully in support of what we are doing. That's why you're seeing most of the development that are taking place at the current hospital of recent times.
All right, Dr. Kapua, just like you said, a calculative action to rewrite the wrongs. Now, we also saw, I believe that's what precipitated your recent outings with members of staff of the Mortuary. We saw you had like a family meeting with them to really discuss on their challenges and some of the things that they are doing. We need to be someone who really, go in depth to find, to investigate issues and then find solutions to them. In the interest of really providing dignity for their deceased loved ones, like someone fondly said that we that are alive, we have the honors to cater for those that are dead and gone, because we never know when it will be at home. So aside from just this refurbishment, what are some of the thematic areas you're going to really pinpoint on?
Okay, so thank you. So for the Connaught Mortuary, Connaught is a teaching hospital.
Exactly.
So we have students that we're training to become, professionals. So we also concentrating on the teaching aspects.
Okay.
So this means we're going to have a teaching hall. We are going to have more equipment in terms of the pathology equipment that we use for the patient, the dead. We also have had the opportunity now to have a mobile X-ray. So what does this mean? It's going to help in forensics. So in postmortem, people are here, they'll tell you. So now, in the Western world, of course, when we are doing postmortem now, not every corpse is being opened like we do here. So this machine is going to help. So for example, someone was shot, and that X-ray could be done and the bullets could be seen, so there would be no need to tear and open. And yes, so this also is going to help. It's a very expensive and very modern equipment, so it's going to actually.
And the Sierra Leone police, like we have been one year,
yes,
is heavily reliant on the mortuary board.
Definitely.
Certain investigative reports.
Definitely. So even in this move, we are working together with the Sierra Leone police, with the Ministry of Internal Affairs as a whole. We're working together with them. We started engagement. We've had engagement from the ministerial level down to the heads of MDS level, with the IG and all the police team. So they are very cooperative. They are very supportive. Because we really want this mortuary, has been in this state, as you said in your the last time it had a major upgrade, and it was 20 years ago.
Can you imagine?
So you can imagine, and the same cold room that was there 20 years ago. So I always say, for the benefit of the public, say the cold room is just like a fridge or freezer that we have at home. So imagine if you had a freezer 20 years ago, it's not going to work again. With all the fluctuations in electricity and all of that, it is not going to work again. So we've been having a lot of challenges. And with all devices, with all equipment, they have their lifespan. So once you can do repairs, you can do maintenance for all you like, it is still not going to work. So these are some of the challenges that we're having, that we actually want to make sure that we put those into in the past. So now the cold rooms that we have are more modern, and they are built-in shelves. And the good thing is, for every shelf has its own compressor and technical settings, as opposed to the one that we have, or that we used to have, because it's already been taken out. Yeah, that we used to have, that has one compressor for the whole system.
Okay.
So in case of any technical breakdown, when that compressor goes down, then the whole system goes down. So for now, this one that has shelves, which a compressor per shelf. So let's say even there are technical issues, one compressor goes down, the others are still going to work. So these are some of the advantages that we are adding. We've been having a lot of pressure on the mortuary. We also know, so just for the public to know, because most of these things, people do not actually know. And when people do not know, they speculate. And when they speculate, we know the outcome. So we actually want to make sure that people know what is happening in the health sector, so they actually have the confidence to come to us and get their health and well-being. So Freetown is a big city, so there's everyone here. So we have some people we call so-called destitute. People die on the street with no relative to come and claim their body. All of those people are taken to the mortuary. Yes, and honestly, the hospital administration or even the Ministry of Health does not have all of the resources to take care of all of these people. So once they are in the mortuary, we are responsible to take care of them. We are responsible to provide embalming and equipment and embalming chemicals for them. And we still have other patients to take care of. We still have the free healthcare category.
All right, so sorry to cut it short,
yes.
Doctor. In fact, talking about capacity, resource capacity, availability of resource capacity for, not only staff but as well the infrastructure capacity of the national morgue. You know, like you said, early you see the Connaught mortuary not being overwhelmed, especially when there are national emergencies like the national health emergency, when we have Ebola, we have COVID, and same was it when we had the mudslide, yes, on August 14. So is there going to be like a kind of expansion of the morgue, or is it going to be just the existing structure that you're going to refurbish?
Well, yes, basically from the outside it's the same existing structure.
Okay.
But the inside is the one that is going to be rearranged. So there are some rooms, for example, that were needed, technically speaking.
Okay.
So those rooms are going to be demolished to create new facilities. So technically speaking, it's an expansion because we are going to have more facilities, more services that were not there. We're going to have a more bigger cold room that will accept more corpses. So so technically it's an expansion of what we currently have.
Well, just before moving to another issue now in the program, like you said, there are a lot of nefarious activities that has already been taking place down there as the morgue. In fact, we could sense your reaction when you went there on the conducted tour, seeing the deplorable states of the mortuary. A place that has not really been refurbished since 2005. You can only imagine. And as someone who has this touch for standards, this knack for standards, someone who is really, has the zest in him for, places to really move up to international standard. You see the improvements you've been making, the innovations you've been making, not only around the hospital facility, but even with the human capital development of human resource mechanism of the hospital. So what specific areas, like you said, there's partnership already with Sierra Leone Police, what are the specific areas you're going to be targeting in so far as security concerns, security measures are put in place when the refurbishment will be over?
Okay, so there are a lot of areas that are going to be concentrated on. So I spoke of the capacity building of the staff.
Certainly.
Because I solidly believe in that. It helps a lot. People just go to medical school, nursing school, or healthcare school, and they don't actually know how to engage with the public when it comes to the workplace. So that is what my management is championing across the hospital. We want to build the capacity of our staff. So once we build the capacity, that's one thing that's going to help. Giving them uniforms, of course,
okay.
That's also going to stand out. So when you go there, you know who is the staff, who is a mourner, who is a visitor, as the case may be. Engagement with other MDAs, I've said of the police, engagement with the city council. From the ministry level, they have already started the engagement with the city council, because generally, mostly they are the ones who take those bodies from the streets and come and dump them into the mortuary. So we are engaging them. We're engaging also through the police, the chief medical examiner, who is Dr. Wies. He's also got a role to play there. He's on board, he's supporting. We've met him, we've explained to him a dream that this is what we want the hospital to become.
Okay.
Once we bring it up to standard, we cannot continue living in the same old, as they say. We want to make sure that Connaught becomes a center of excellence, and that's what we are working towards.
Okay, thank you very much for to stay with us in the program. Is the hospital care manager at Connaught Hospital, Dr. Ibrahim Makapua. I've been talking to us on several reforms that are ongoing, not only at the Connaught Hospital facility, but around the hospital mortuary that is going to be on a temporary closure for the time being. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We now move to another issue, concentrating on security concerns. The head of media, Sierra Leone Police Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brahma Kamara, said the police, together with Amutin community people, conducted a preliminary search on the boats recently washed ashore at the Amutin beach for illegal materials. Well, according to ACP Kamara, was updating the media as the police weekly press conference, and investigations are still ongoing. The yacht with 3 Filipino crew members drifted ashore at the beach in Amuti a few days ago, prompted a joint response from the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Navy, and the Sierra Leone Police Maritime Unit, despite initial concerns from eyewitnesses suggesting the vessel carries a large quantity of cocaine. Authorities reported finding nothing of police interest or security concern during the search. We're in the studio to further the discussion on this particular yacht is the Assistant Commissioner of Police, who doubles as the head of police media, Kamara. Good morning, Mr. Kamara.
Good morning.
All right, there's nothing of police interest to want to warrant any cause for alarm. Then why you need to update the public?
Well, sometimes when you fail to update the public, or maybe you fail to give out information, people form their own prejudices. They form their opinions. So this is why we are here, to let the public know that indeed we got the information and which we transformed to intelligence, that there was a boat there at the Bishwan and Milton. We got information from the community members, and then we went there, and then we now decided to call it the military, the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. They have the naval wing. We also have the marine wing of the police, maritime wing. So we came together jointly, and then we decided that we must. That's the procedure.
Certainly.
I mean, for as long as there is this kind of suspicion, you have to move or disprove, as the case may be. So we went in there, and then we did the search, and there was nothing of police interest, and there was nothing of security concern. And then one good thing, one of the crew members, addressed even the community members. So what we are now going to do, we are now making sure that we have to do thorough investigation, in-depth investigations. I mean, those guys who have the knowledge, who have the skills and expertise in maritime law, they will have to look at some other things, how it came there and so on and so forth. But from the initial information we had, it was drifted there because they had some kind of engine failure. So that's the initial information. But for the consumption of the public, I want them to know that there was nothing of security concern. And so this is why we are now informing them. So all those rumors you hear out there, they are just rumors. But the fact remains, get it from the authoritative source, that there was nothing of security concern. Nothing like drugs. People are talking about drugs. Nothing, absolutely. In fact, the boat is still there. It is still there. And we are waiting for, how do you call it, high tide? It's not my area, so I don't want to, I have to be very careful as well. But I think they are waiting for high tide so that they can tow the boat to Mortuary, so that they can continue the investigation. Don't forget, we also have the Ministry of Marine Resources, so they know, and they are very much afraid with what happens with them.
Very well. So ACP Kamara, just as you were waiting on the Ministry of Marine Resources to conduct their own experts investigations, you went into the boat and you found nothing of police interest, and then you wouldn't blame people, even to speak on behalf of the people. We've seen of recent times many of this illegal drug trafficking comes to Sierra Leone along our coastlines and entering into, the city. There is no gainsaying that some of these things need to be under investigation. We saw the last time even along the peninsula area whereby a particular boat was spotted. I don't know whether it's John Ube or what's not, I stand to be corrected. And that particular boat as well, the investigation came out and nothing was found. Are these issues emanating? Are they worrisome for the Sierra Leone police?
So they should not be worrisome, but the fact remains, we have a responsibility as members of the security sector to always make sure that when there are suspicions, especially if those suspicions have to do with security matters, we have to do what is needful, like what we did for the boat on Tuesday. And I'm not very much afraid with one you're referring to because I was not around.
Yeah, but we are totally on that issue.
Yeah, but the fact remains, like I said, our own responsibility. We cannot shy away from our responsibility. Okay. It's been entrusted to us by the Constitution and even by the Police Act of 1964, so we cannot shy away from it. And this is why we have the PR team over and again. We have to come over to the public and to give them the correct information. So whenever there are concerns from members of the public, those concerns must be demystified. And this is why I'm here to demystify those I don't want to give them names, but the fact is that most of what they are saying are not correct.
Aside of the fact that no illegal materials were found, were these individuals suspected to be carrying this vessel along the sea? Were they investigated to ascertain their criminal status?
This is what I've said. I said there's going to be an in-depth investigation. There are so many other things to be looked into by the experts. But initial investigations conducted or the preliminary one, we've been able to put out that information to members of the public. So the marine wing of the police, the naval wing of the military, and then the Ministry of Marine Resources, they are all part of what we call the Joint Marine GMC, Joint Marine Center, Joint Marine Coordination Center. They are all going to meet, and then they are now going to conduct their own investigations, and then they will come back to the public and inform the public if there are other things.
Alright, so just before we get into that, ACP Kamara, try to paint our viewers a vivid picture of what the search raid, the raid on that particular sea vessel was like. What was it like when you went there? What was the scene like and everything?
Well, I don't know whether you are referring to the scene from outside or you are referring to the scene from inside. But from outside, we had onlookers. We had the committee members. They were there. In fact, it was they who called us. So they had been at the scene before we went there. It was they who called us. So it was not like we were there and then they came. No, it was they who called us. And within the boat itself, we were very methodical. We know how to. We have the requisite training, so we were very sure of what we are doing. We meticulously searched the entire boat, cabin or wherever we must search or we could expect that something could be hidden. Everything was done, and then, like I said, I can still authoritatively say there was nothing of police interest, and the boat is still there. Okay. It's not like it has gone; it is still there, and now we are not providing protection for the boat, because that's part of our responsibility. The work of the police is to protect life and to protect property. So that's property. Okay. It's not ours. The story we have, it was drifted there, so we have to protect it. Fine.
Alright, so ACP Kamara, just before we move to another issue now, we want to take our LT in the program. From your background, we know you have some legal background, and what are some of the legal ramifications when some of these vessels they are being found on our seashore, and then what are some of the guiding principles? What are some of the safeguards that should be put in place to ensure that if all went well, they are escorted back into where they are going to?
Yes, you are right to say I appear to have a legal background. I'm very careful when I make statements. But equally so, it doesn't necessarily mean if I have a legal background, I have legal background when it comes to marine law, international marine law. Okay. This one
I believe you must have a
This one is covered by the United Nations Convention on Laws, I think laws of the sea. Yeah. UNCLOS. Understand?
Areas beyond natural jurisdiction.
Yes. Honestly, it's not my domain. Okay. Criminal law is my domain.
Oh,
take me to criminal law.
Certainly, we shall get there. Thank you very much. He's Assistant Commissioner of Police, who doubles as the head of police media, ACP Kamara, talking to us there on a suspected sea vessel around Beach 1 of Hamilton Beach. And the program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, and we're now to another issue in the program. We take our health tips. In today's health tips, we take a look at the symptoms of lymphomania, Knowing the symptoms of lymphoma is essential for diagnosis and early treatment. Painless lumps near the limbs, notes, extreme fever or fatigue, higher fever, and significant weight loss without unknown cause are all signs to watch for. Well, let's watch this short video and to learn more about this dreadful disease.
When we feel unwell, the symptoms we experience are ways our bodies tell us something's wrong. They also help doctors diagnose the illness and guide treatment. There are two kinds of lymphoma, Hodgkin lymphoma and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. While non-Hodgkin lymphoma refers to a group of different types of lymphoma, symptoms for both are similar. When diagnosing lymphoma, the absence or presence of signs, called B symptoms, is extremely important. If B symptoms are present, it usually means a more serious prognosis for the patient and affects their treatment plan. The 3 defined B symptoms for lymphoma are a fever of at least 100.4 that lasts for several days with no known cause, extreme weight loss of more than 10% of normal body weight over 6 months, and drenching sweats, particularly at night. Aside from B symptoms, there are other signs that doctors look for. These symptoms can overlap with other conditions, including the common cold or flu, but are worth noting, particularly if they last for several weeks. While swollen lymph nodes can often be a symptom of a cold or the flu, if these painless swollen lumps in the neck, underarm, or groin last longer than a few weeks, it could be a sign of lymphoma. Fatigue lasting days or weeks with no known cause is also something to pay attention to. A rash is a very common symptom of skin lymphomas, sometimes confused with other skin conditions like eczema. These itchy rashes are frequently found in folds of the skin and appear scaly and red or purple in color. Experiencing these symptoms can be worrying. Besides being uncomfortable, the anxiety that comes with the possibility of a lymphoma diagnosis is difficult to manage. While many lymphoma symptoms are common in other conditions, contact your doctor if any symptoms you experience concern you. For many, a successful outcome in treatment for lymphoma is possible.
Welcome back. We hope you had learned a lot from the short video on lymphoma disease, which is a disease of the limbs and joints. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We still have in the studio Dr. Makapua, the Spokesman Manager at Connaught Hospital, and of course the Head of Police Media, ACP Boy Makama. But now let's turn to another issue that has to do with politics. Well, they call it inter-party politics. In the studio this morning, we have the contender of the national publicity secretary position of the Sierra Leone People's Party, as they are now on the verge of conducting their national delegates conference come next week. In the person of Patrick Madakoma. Good morning, Mr. Koma.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure being here.
Before getting into the business of the day, who is Patrick Madakoma, if you must tell our delegates that are following the program, and I believe other viewers that are not necessarily SLPP supporters or sympathizers might also be following.
I'm a family man. I am a Sierra Leonean. I'm a Grand Chief Patron of the SLPP party, and I was born in Jalamokunde, Moyamba District, Kori Chiefdom, and then my mom came from Mano Dase, Moyamba District. My father came from Bari Poturu, Kundawam village in Pujan District, and then I went to school in Sierra Leone, and then I went to Jala University, where I got my master's in public administration. And then also I'm a trained and qualified teacher, and then I've taught extensively in many schools in this country, starting from primary school 1 up to university. The last time I was in Sierra Leone before I departed for the United States, I was a full-time lecturer at the University of Sierra Leone, and then that makes me an educator. And then I went to the United States, and I worked in the state of North Dakota in the Human Services Department, working closely with child protection, and I gained managerial positions there. I supervised a lot. I got experience in that angle, and I also worked as a juvenile counselor at the Clay County, Minnesota State.
Okay.
I worked with juveniles that get conflict with the law, with justice systems, and then I have worked as a program manager, also managing a program that deals with youth that's involved in drug abuse. So I got those experiences. So in terms of politics, Patrick Mada Kuruma has played his own part. I was part of the student union politics while I was in college, and I became a leader also. And then in terms of SLPP politics, I had an opportunity to serve as a PRO during my tenure while we were in the SLPP politics part, SLP student wing. And then I became a zonal PRO for the SLPP. I have got the opportunity to serve as a constituency PRO for the SLPP, and I was also opportuned to be part of the bigger committee, campaign committee in this country for the Sierra Leone People's Party in 2012, which the former chairman John Ukponjo Benjamin set up to campaign for President Bio, and I was opportune to have trainings and go through all the necessary things that I needed to know of a national campaign. And then I have been able to be a chairman for the SLPP North Dakota chapter in the United States. And just for viewers to understand, a chapter is equivalent to a district in Sierra Leone, and a chapter is formed like in a state. And then I served there also, and I was also I had an opportunity also to be to serve as the national public regional public relations officer in the SLPP North America. What that means, when there's convention, all the chapters, which are equivalent to districts in Sierra Leone, convert in one state and elect their leaders. So I had an opportunity to serve 2 terms as the PRO for this party. And then, interestingly and very, very beneficially, I was part of the National Communication Committee that the outgoing National Publicity Secretary Lahai Lawrence Lima formed. So over the years, I have been working with Lahai Lawrence Lima. In that committee, we have been working to put ideas together, to put structures together, to organize messaging, to see how and when we can put out messaging. So I've got those skills. So I am not like a stranger. I'm not coming in to learn. So I have gone through those trainings in the party. I have gone through those apprenticeship in the party. I have got those skills. I've got the capacity. I've got the experience. I've got the knowledge. And remember, I'm a teacher. That makes me an educator. That makes me a communicator, because in PR system, we develop messages, we process it and communicate it to people, for people to accept and love it. And before I stop, social media is very much it's all over the place now. It's very much important right now, and even the mainstream media, you are all on social media. So I have got a skill in developing one of the largest network, social media online network that people know. I call it the Hot Goose Network. I'm commonly called Gentle the Political Hot Goose, because that is the medium I have been using to defend the SLPP party over the years. That is the medium I've been using to manage the reputation of the SLPP party over the years, and that has given me a lot of experience and a lot of skills in political communication. So which is why I have decided at this moment to come out and act in the capacity of the national PR, because I believe that I've got all those skills and trainings to do that.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. You seem to have an acumen in the public service, and of course a sophisticated idea, of course, in the as an experienced educationist. I believe one thing that you feel maybe to mention is that you are an orator. But let's hold you there. We'll come back to you. We want to make some money in the program. Let's join our sponsor for a brief commercial break. I will come back and continue the program.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa, and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Welcome back. The program you are watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television on channel 31. And so, our esteemed viewers, we still have in the studio one of the contenders for the National Publicity Secretary position of the ruling SLPP, in the person of Patrick Madakoma. Mr. Kuma, just before we went for that short break, of course, I've been listening to you with rapt attention, and from the premises you've laid, it has really demonstrated from my own understanding that you really have seen a need to wanting to step into the position of the National Publicity Secretary office. Just before coming on here, I was jokingly saying to you that I sense your enthusiasm carries a moral fire. But just before getting into the issues, before coming also on here, we spotted some other contenders in another medium who were, giving their objectives for wanting to venture into that position. But from what we observe, there seems to be there's some kind of a disconnect between those of you contending and you begin to see yourself to be in acrimony. Is that so the case?
I don't want to subscribe to that, because the SLPP is a unified party. That's why our motto is called unity. We are all brothers, and in democracy, everybody has their own right to participate or to engage in whatever that is lawful and that is within the framework of within the framework of the law. But and what they're doing, everybody is aspiring to be what they want to be. But then there's one thing that I always tell people: it's not about aspiring for something. What you want to aspire for, do you have the requisite qualification? Do you have the requisite experience? Do you have the training? Because politics is about training. Politics is about apprenticeship. And this position that we are going for, the publicity secretary position, is a very serious one. Because your responsibility is to defend your political party. The other responsibility is to make sure you are able to manage the reputation of that political party.
Which simply brings us to the question, Mr. Kuma, what are you really bringing to the table?
So, for me, I will tell you categorically clear that I have a plan.
Okay, what's that plan?
You know, in politics, in anything you do, you cannot just come in and start. You cannot just come in, you have to plan. So they said when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Okay.
When I nurtured this idea, the whole idea of coming for the National Public Relations Officer, I sat down and developed a plan. I did not only develop a plan, remember I've told you I have been part of the SLPP for a very long time. I understand the structures of the SLPP. I understand the problems the SLPP is facing. I've understood where we need to communicate where and what we need to do from all my experience. So I developed a 3-layer strategic plan that I will be working with if I'm given the opportunity by the delegate to serve this party.
Okay.
One of the biggest things, according to the 2020 Constitution of the SLPP, Act number 6, Chapter 6, Section 12, which lays out the responsibility of the Public Relations Officer. One of the biggest thing I'm going to do when I get an opportunity is to establish the largest communication committee ever in the history of the SLPP. For far too long, we have been giving out messages, but most of those messages are scattered around. So the purpose of this is to ensure that we have a uniform message. We speak with one voice. And how am I going to do that? I mentioned that I served the party as a PRO from student wing from zone, constituency, and up the cadre. So all those levels of people as PRO, they have unique ideas. They have qualities that we need, you know. So I'm going to bring them all together under that committee. And also, I mentioned about social media that is playing vital role in politics nowadays, and even in many other spheres before. So now we have social media activists who are always there to support and to promote the programs and values of the SLP. I'm going to bring those ones together.
Okay.
I'm going to bring them part of that committee, and also I'm going to bring the strategic communication team through the Ministry of Information. Remember, we are in governance, and when you are in governance, there are a lot of things that you do that people need to know about it. And we have the strategic communication unit through the Ministry of Information. They know that. And
but that's an organ that is detached from the party level.
Well, our party is
on the government.
Our party is in power. We form the government, and then we are going to enjoy that.
I just think that we should detach state institutions from party affairs. Don't you think that is? I mean, you bring in party affairs into state matters.
Well, the reason why we are not bringing party affairs into state matters, we are trying to source out those achievements that our government has made. Remember, this is the SLPP government, and when we are going for elections in 2028, the people are going to ask us, we gave you a mandate, what did you do? Come here and check. They'll check us. We have a checklist. So we cannot be able to communicate that one to the people if we do not have relationship with the Ministry of Information, because they have all the data. They know what they have done on behalf of the party, because this government representing the SLP party. If we do well, then Sierra Leoneans will say, okay, let's give them another mandate. If we fail, then they will decide otherwise. So we don't want to fail, which is why we are going to tell them, wherever they have succeeded throughout this period, we need to get those information. We need to remind the voters that, hey, you gave us a mandate when we came to you to vote for us. Yes, this and this and this are what we've done. And that's why.
So, Mr. Kuba, sorry to cut you short, but for a listener that might be thinking that you seem to have your tentacles spread all over the place. You want to have this, you want to have this, you want to have everything fixed at your own time. What is your relationship with delegates within the party?
So, if you can give me a chance, let me just complete the 3-layer plan.
Maybe you might not have all the luxury of time. Okay. That's why I want to.
So, I'll build that communication team, and then, first of all, let me just answer that. My relationship with the delegates is really, really excellent. We have a relationship as political party members. That's the biggest relationship that we have. We are political party members. We have been in the trenches together. We have been going up and down to making sure our party comes to power, and they know me very well. And I have been in the social media as the political hot goose defending this party. There has been nothing people and other opposition parties have said about this.
Media, because over the time, what we've seen, even within during the course of the lower level elections, you see a lot of aspiring candidates. They utilize more of social media than getting to delegate themselves, selling their ideologies to delegates.
Okay, so I think you are taking me away from that plan.
No, I'm just linking the two.
Yeah, so maybe if you give me a little bit of time, let me finish those plans, then you can shoot me with those questions so that viewers will understand clearly what I'm bringing to the table. So apart from setting up the communication committee, that large one, bringing those individuals together to be able to tell people really what we need, I am going to also strengthen, maintain, and expand relationship with mainstream media. We get the print media, we get the electronics media. I know the party has relationship with them, but I have an experience also working with these people while I was the PRO, the regional PRO. So I want to maintain that relationship. I want to build that relationship so that whenever we are giving out our messaging, we'll have to involve them. Why I'm doing that? They are going to be saving those information, which will serve as a reference point for anybody to go check back in case there's any misinformation along the line, which will serve as a reference point for international body to go and check if anybody misconstrue our statement while we are giving our message.
So that will not really make the office of the the national publicity sector different from how it's been handled over the years?
Well, it's just about, there's always reformation, and we are hearing about everyone talking here that they are reforming this, Connaught is reforming this, the police is reforming, Slbc is reforming. The political parties have to be reformed too. You don't have to be static. You know, dynamism comes in. So that's a new, fresh breath and bringing it. So the next point of the next plan also is to maintain our unity press, work with it, expand on it, and also make sure we establish the largest online TV for the party. So those are the three action plan I'm bringing in. So the online TV we are establishing will serve to make sure giving information to people all over the place through the social media angle of it, because everybody is running there now.
Okay, thank you very much. Going to stay with us in the program is Patrick Mada Kuruma, an aspiring candidate for the position of the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party. We move again over to Dr. Makapua. Doc, you've been silent for a while. But please tell viewers who might be interested to know how long will this refurbishment take?
Well, it is scheduled for 6 weeks. Yes. So we're going to be doing it for 6 weeks, and then after that 6 weeks, of course, we'll resume our usual and normal services again, but of course it's in a more revamped and improved way now. So definitely that's what we are working towards for the 6 weeks.
Alright, so within the course of that 6 weeks, I understand that you'll be working with the Chinese hospital, their mortuary facility, so that disease or corpses will be moved to their facility in the time being. How effective is that arrangement?
Yes, well, not only with Chinese hospital, we also engaged the 34 military hospital. They also have mortuary facilities. We are working with the police hospital at Kensington. Yes, the head of that hospital, of course, we've also had engagement with them. We are also going to help them build their mortuary capacity so that they will actually be in charge of some of those medical legal cases now instead of doing them at Connaught. So we are in that engagement, and we have gone very far in the negotiations with them, and they are also willing to come on board. So during this 6 weeks period, we ask members of the public to take their deceased relatives to these mortuary facilities.
Alright, so just before we move away now, Dr. Kapua, a lot has changed under your management going forward. What's new are we going to be seeing? Aside now we have effective electricity supply to the hospital facility. What's the big package that Sierra Leone should be in the lookout for?
Yes, so the last time I told people that for every month, every 2 months, we are going to invite the media to Connaught Hospital. We are going to invite the public to Connaught Hospital to see what is going on. So we have a lot of packages in place. If you go to the radiology building now, generally speaking, X-ray, so that people understand. We are also modernizing it. You'll soon see it. We are building it, bringing it to standard. We have gone up to like 80% of the job. So we are going to have a CT scan. It's already on the high seas. So this has been long awaiting something, development. So we actually, I mentioned about Connaught being a center of excellence. So I can tell you we have the healthcare workers. We have one of the best doctors in the region, one of the best nurses. But our biggest problem was we did not have the equipment to operate. Yeah, so if you go to the sub-region, for example, we have the West African College, just like you have WAEC. We have the West African College of Surgeons, West African College of Physicians. So we do accreditation. Whenever we go for exams, Sierra Leone doctors always stop. So this shows you that we have very good brains as Sierra Leoneans. We do not have the equipment. So these are some in our strategic plan. When I took over Connaught with my management, it's okay now. We're going to have a strategic plan. So we sat down
I wish we had time to go into all of that again, as you've been doing over the years. But Dr. Makapua, just as we close with you, in your parting shot, you know, as a center of excellence, you also have the honors to now instill in your human resource over there. I mean, the culture of maintenance culture, which is really lacking in many Sierra Leoneans. How will you ensure that monitoring capability and culture of maintenance is adhered to the fullest?
Well, it's to work with the team, empowerment again. So I organize, my management will organize a lot of trainings for our staff. So there's a maintenance team, but over and beyond, they were there, just left at the back of the hospital and not paid much attention to. So now I brought them to the fore, and we're having trainings. So the good thing is, again, the ministry has now officially have a biomedical unit. So these people are going to be the ones to do the repairs, to do the maintenance, and we are going to make sure we continue empowering them so that they can do exactly.
Thank you very much. He is Dr. Ibrahim Makapua, the Hospital Care Manager at Connaught Hospital, giving us updates on several ongoing reforms at the Connaught Hospital, not limited to, of course, the refurbishment taking place at the Connaught Mortuary, which is on a temporary closure. Over to you, Police Media One, and in closing, we will not allow it to go without giving us usual security updates. And of course, as you wrap up with this boat saga, what do you have for Sierra Leoneans?
Well, I want to say Sierra Leone is very peaceful. We are doing our level best to maintain that peacefulness. If you look at the even global peace index, for the whole of Africa, we are 5th in terms of peace. And then West Africa, we are 2nd. And for the sub-region, we are 1st. So which means we are doing everything humanly possible on our own side to maintain the peace and safety of our people and whoever is resident within Sierra Leone. So we want to continue to encourage members of the public to help us with information. There is no way we can be everywhere. There is no way. We are just around 14,000-15,000. And then we have a population of 7.1.
How soon will you see you coming back to update the media or to citizens?
So I'm available now, and because I'm available, I want to say I'm going to be here at any time. Come tomorrow, come the day after, as often as possible.
Saturday, and so on that note, we wish you congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
You know, something big is on the pipeline, like you normally say. Alright, he is Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brian Makamara, Head of Police Media, updating the public. Quickly on the program, we'll move now to another issue. It has to do with a review of the front pages of our local tablets. For that, I begin with the Awoko newspaper. It opens with a banner headline, and China and UNDP launch $2 million United States dollars furniture support to Sierra Leone. We also have Minister Lengo cracks down on stolen cars and drug factory in Freetown. Connaught Hospital morgue undergoes long-awaited renovation. Health officials pledge safe, dignified care for deceased. My next bit is Kenema newspaper. It opens to the banner. Sierra Leone sees major decline in crime. Quoting the Sierra Leone police, about 4,782 fewer cases. Task force enforces order and discipline across Freetown. Police crackdown on counterfeit money syndicates. Our stories you can find on the front page of the Kenema newspaper. Our newspaper has on its front page a new era for SLPP. Delegates rally behind Batido Songa. Another headline here is over 10,000 United States dollars theft medical doctors drag free to court. Our stories you can find on the front page of the Standard Times newspaper. My last and final pick is the A to Z newspaper. It has on its front page, modernizing maritime laws. Parliament debates Merchant Shipping Act 2025. President Bureau advocates for agricultural support in high-level meeting. And to go with that story is a portrait of His Excellency President Julius Maada, who was receiving a IPA delegation from IFAD. UNDP and UN Secretary General urge government to accelerate the renewable energy transition. To go that story is a portrait of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Enhancing major upgrades, Ministry of Health announces temporary closure of Connaught Hospital Mortuary. All stories you can find on the front page of the A to Z newspaper. And of course, I know Dr. Makapua is smiling to be seeing all of those stories making headlines. But over to you, Mr. Kuroma. We're closing the program, but in summary of these of your we say ambitious plans that you have for that very enviable office. How will you ensure that you canvass the much support that you need? Because the conventions, the delegate conference is just around the corner.
Well, I would say this: from all the three individuals that were the various individuals that are contending with me,
Okay.
I am one of the individual that is well known to the delegates. I'm not coming in new because I've been around for a very long time.
Okay.
My voice has been around for a very long time defending this party. My voice has been there protecting the image of the SLPP, and then talking for the delegates themselves. And there's one thing I want people to understand. Those delegates have their time they are taking away from their family. They are using their resources. And they are coming to vote. They are not just coming to vote for any kind of person.
Okay.
They are coming to vote for somebody that will be able to communicate messages, somebody that will be able to defend their party, somebody that is able to manage the reputation of this party and lead them to victory.
So if you happen to be given the opportunity to really head this important office, you will have a mandate, to talk about like you said, the success of your party to Sierra Leoneans, and of course you have to maintain your status as a government. And what will you do differently?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I am not going out of my plans. Remember, I was just saying I'll build that committee, and that committee will give me the opportunity to work with all party stakeholders. Every party members will be involved. I'm building a team, and I love to work with a team. Throughout my management, I've mentioned all those places I've worked. I have built those skills and experience working with team. And throughout the politics, I've got, like, if you can separate my system into three, 60% of me is politics, 20% is water, the other 20 is blood. So without politics, it will be difficult for me to survive. So that's why I am in this game.
Okay.
That's why I love the SLPP, because they are always giving me support. That's to do what I do best for them. And when I come, I'll continue to work with that team from the leadership of the party down to the grassroots. I resonate with them. They understand what I do, and I always will get those supports. And I'm going to continue working with them.
Thank you very much. His party, Mada Kuroma, a contender for the office or the position of the National Publicity Secretary. Dr. Bakapua, I really wish to squeeze you for a few seconds. I mean, to say in few words, what do you envisage for the Connaught Hospital facility as a center of excellence?
As a center of excellence, so we're getting a new branch unit. Soon we will call for commissioning. We set a standard.
Okay.
Capacity building, we make sure the staff are being trained.
Okay.
Now we are getting more equipment.
Right.
Now, of course, Connaught is as ever clean as ever before.
Thank you very much. And on that note, we leave it at that. The program has been intense. It has been, of course, very educational, and the program has been Good Morning Sierra, which came to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television. But before we go, a reminder of our quote of the day, which is from the Nigerian writer Chinua Achebe, and it says, "If you find water rising up to your ankle, and that is the time to do something about it, not when it is around your neck." As always, it's a food for thought for you, our esteemed viewers. And they say, water wise is always enough. Good Morning Sierra Leone returns tomorrow. This program has been produced by Daphne Zainab Kamara. On behalf of our production crew and our studio guests, Dennis Fraser is my name. Keep watching the SLBC.
Here's how to send money overseas using AfriMoney and BNB. Dial *161#. Select option 1. Go to option 6 for overseas money. Press 1 for BNB. You'll see the list of countries you can send to. Enter receiver's full name. Enter the receiver's phone number. Enter the amount you want to send. Enter your PIN to confirm. You will receive an SMS confirming your transaction. Terms and conditions applied.
For visit family na some partner upline pass you the tinker.
Me na Temukagbo, me na school teacher.
Temukagbo na teacher na the Untilon Secondary School where they na Mabang. As somebody where they na the community day, he gets experience of how good road and bridge don't change book learning na in community. Even though better book learning na right for everybody, picking them na upline can struggle for go school. And this na one big challenge na some parts them na upline. And that's the reason why good road them we connect school them important. For make picking them go able go school, travel safe, and get better chance for land book. Temu, they live close to the Koblo Gulama Bridge. One big bridge we don't help push book learning go far na the area day. Because of the new bridge, more picking them don't begin going out hunting down school. Something will not be possible before.
When I see the time they make for this bridge, I will tell what thank you. Because the canal and the school and the other surrounding villages, and even the trader and the farmer them.
Now, most of the picking them from primary to secondary don't they go school every day. For them picking there, the way for get better future now for go school. And good road make that possible. Good road they open door for education, connects community them, and boost local business them. So tell me which road you want travel.
Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television on Channel 31. This is Newsbrief Live. President Julius Madabio has welcomed a high-level delegation from the International Fund for Agricultural Development and the Director General of Bill Gates Foundation at State House in Freetown. The delegation is in Sierra Leone on a 3-day working visit to discuss partnership under the Feed Salon initiative. Since the launch of Feed Salon program, several partners have shown interest in supporting the project. Minister of Agriculture Dr. Eni Musa Parker told President Bill that many partners want to contribute, especially through capacity building and technical support. He emphasized that more hands and partnerships will be needed to achieve long-term success. Vice President of International Funds for Agricultural Development, Jirandi Musikima, highlighted key areas for government's focus and the President's completes his second term. President Bill thanked the delegation and commended their interest in Sierra Leone's food security efforts. The International Fund for Agricultural Development is a United Nations agency focused on ending poverty and hunger in rural communities across developing nations. Assistant Commissioner of Police Brahima Kamara said the Sierra Leone police, together with Amutin community people, have conducted a preliminary search on the boats recently washed ashore at the Amutin beach for illegal materials. During the preliminary search, ACP Kamara, who was updating the media at the police weekly press conference, said investigations are still ongoing. According to ACP Kamara, nothing of police interest was found after police and the community people conducted the preliminary search on the boat. He assured the public that the people and police will continue its investigation, noting the police will leave no stone unturned. Meanwhile, AIG Francis Mandy in Freetown West told his audience that they cleared the eastern police axis, starting armed robbery, fraud, and illegal possession, stated, and firearms were among cases that are currently investigating. Also, the head of Criminal Investigations Department, ACP Aliu Jallo, said they were investigating 3 people who were caught by the police with firearms, including pistols with over 40 live rounds and cartridges, money doubling, and forge of documents of different MDs, police clearance and birth certificates, among other illegal materials. Director of Operations, Sierra Leone Police, Dr. John Tennessee, said the weapons that were confiscated were not owned by the police, neither the military. He said they were owned and were traced. When traced the owner of such weapons, they couldn't find. And finally, the Minister of Health and Sanitation has announced the temporary closure of the Connaught Hospital Mortuary in central Freetown. The closure, according to the hospital's management, was part of their upgrading of the mortuary to international standards. According to authorities, the existing Connaught Hospital Mortuary was last renovated over 20 years ago. The cold room and freezer were outdated and not fit for modern post-mortem care. This critical upgrade, they said, will help to uphold dignity for the dead and improve overall mortuary standards. While the Connaught Mortuary undergoes renovation, the government has negotiated with the 34 military hospital, Chinese hospital, the police hospital, to temporarily handle civic and medical legal corpses. Also, embalming services at Connaught will continue during the transition, but families were given a 2-day window to collect deceased bodies of their loved ones after being embalmed. Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Minister of Health, Dr. Mustafa Kaba, said they will continue to uphold dignity of the dead. He underscored that the intervention was part of a broader national plan to modernize the country's mortuary services, improve service delivery, and ensure the respectful handling of the deceased. Connaught Hospital's care manager, Dr. Ibrahim Kapua, welcomed the development, noting that the mortuary upgrade will happen alongside other ongoing improvements at the hospital, including the solar energy system and enhancement to its radiology department, among many other reforms taking place. And that's the news on the hour from the SLBC. Keep watching.
The 59th Annual Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community United Kingdom, a global convention promoting peace, brotherhood, and unity across the world. Attended by over 40,000 people. Don't miss this live coverage of this unique event from the 25th July 2025 on SLBC at the following times.
Jalsa Sanana UK.
Oh, Mama Africa, land of beauty, home of nature, the beginning of all humanity, land of peace and freedom. What has happened to you? Your wildlife suffers and died, and your people are killing each other. Mama Africa, I want to hear your music, the sound of nature and animals. I want to hear your joyful children laugh. I want to hear the wisdom in the voices of the elders. I want to hear the sound of